Yeah.
So just it felt like releasing that stagnant energy from my gut.
Yeah.
But that felt very profound and easy to access the emotion and the dynamic.
The field is all around you, and it tells you when it's time to look at something. Stepping into motherhood and what motherhood meant in like your maternal lineage and how that was carried down for them, how they experienced it, how they were able to step into it. Maybe we could delve into things there that you could possibly be holding on to.
My mother definitely didn't feel supported, financially or by her partner. My grandmother definitely didn't feel supported by her partner. I waited a long time to get pregnant because I felt like my ancestors were like, wait, don't do it, live your life, before you have a kid. So
you said your mom and grandmother felt unsupported, but how do you feel?
I feel so excited, and a part of me wishes I had started earlier. I've always, nurture is such a part of my personality, so I feel so excited to just meet him and be able to care for him. A lot of fear about becoming another person and not wanting to work as much as I did in the past, and working a lot is what has gotten me this far. What if I don't even want to do any of these things that I've been doing the whole time? As the new person on the other side, can I support myself still? I like a lot of money. I like having nice things and stuff. But like the drive to work immediately left my body when I got pregnant.
What I would recommend for today is to look into the motherhood wound and see what that looks like in your family system.
Really no. I'm very curious about the money, but for some reason my intuition says to go for the mother wound.
Yeah, I think they overlap. But I think when we set an intention and a presenting issue in constellations, we want it to be very sort of like earthbound and grounded. The field works in a very like 3D way, and the 3D world is the most spiritual experience someone can have in family constellations, to be like incarnated as part of the family system. And it seems like the motherhood stuff is more 3D for you now. We're going to use objects today. They're like a very simple and accessible tool. So we're going to go in blind, and we're going to bring in different elements or people in your family system. Just randomly pick any of those objects, and we'll call it A for now. I'm going to ask you to step in as A, and you can take your time, but essentially you are stepping into the role of the sunglasses. I'd love for you to hone in on emotions that might come up, feelings, thoughts, sensations in your body can sometimes feel very prominent, and no one ever does this wrong, so take your time. And when you're ready, you can just tell me what's coming. Say to it, money, we get to be close.
Money, we get to be close.
We get to have a relationship.
We get to have a relationship.
Would that feel okay in your body?
No.
Yeah. Okay, so then we're not going to go there. We'll just say we get to be close. Yeah. Take a deep inhale from me and exhale. Good. Recap so you have an idea of what we did today. In general, it's sometimes like helpful to not like intellectualize it, but I just wanted to say what really came through with the motherhood wound is dynamic between you and your mom. And so just to say, constellations are one-dimensional. And so what they really show you is what is ripe for the picking now. And it's really not a representation of the overall dynamic between the two of you. But with regards to your fear of motherhood and how that impacts your earning, this was the thing that was ready to be cleared that was affecting that dynamic. The things you were holding on to between you and your mom, there was like a lot of fear that you had toward her that was still in your body. There was definitely parentification, like a role that you stepped in when you were a child. And often I see that mothers can't carry that anymore as they become someone else's parent, because to do so would be to parentify your own dynamic. But a lot with money that was coming up with you actually rejecting it. And, there was like this is my mom and my dad, and both those things were coming out. But I really love that releasing the things with your mom got you to a place where you could at least bring it next to you. And that's a significant movement in the field. Any type of physical movement is.
I'm curious about the two different parts of me. I thought you were going to each be a family member.
Yeah, it just sort of evolved in my practice into that. I noticed that I did shamanic soul retrieval a long time ago, and that fragmented parts really stuck with me. And I noticed that it helps so much when you bring in your older, wiser, more resourced, self to come in and help the little self that needs to be supported and loved and can't receive it from the parent because they're not safe for whatever reason. I find that to be incredibly